Welcome to Mukesh Manoharan's studio. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon before we proceed. We live in a world absolutely obsessed with the loud, chaotic clamor of making money. Everywhere we look, we are bombarded with strategies for growth, the thrill of the hustle, and the intoxicating rush of building an empire from the ground up. But today, in this explainer, we are stepping away from that noise. We are shifting our focus to a quieter, far more profound mystery. We are exploring the ultimate challenge of keeping that wealth alive across generations. A cinematic journey through time, exploring how humanity has fought to preserve its life's work against the relentless erosion of time. To truly understand the gravity of our journey, we first have to cross a fundamental divide. On one side of the chasm, we have wealth creation. This is the arduous climb up the mountain. It's about growing your income, taking terrifying but calculated risks, and forcing something to exist where there was once nothing. It requires a specific, aggressive kind of energy. But on the other side of that chasm stands a far more daunting fortress, and that is wealth preservation. History is tragically littered with grand families who amassed unimaginable riches only to watch them slip through their descendants' fingers like dry sand. Wealth preservation is the delicate, masterful art of maintaining your purchasing power across decades. It's the crucial, often heartbreaking challenge of ensuring that the fruits of your grueling labor don't simply evaporate, but instead bloom into a lasting legacy. A legacy that offers future generations immense value and freedom, rather than suffocating them under the weight of financial ruin.
And so, as we wander through the vast corridors of economic history, one singular, echoing question keeps rising to the surface. How do we actually ensure that the value created today survives to benefit tomorrow? How do we build a wall strong enough to protect our life's energy from economic tectonic shifts, the invisible drain of inflation, and the relentless, undefeated march of time? It's a question that has haunted and challenged everyone from ancient emperors to modern-day entrepreneurs. I want you to think about your own financial legacy for a moment. When the immediate noise of your daily life fades away, what will actually remain?
Our path forward in this explainer is laid out like a map across the centuries. We will first confront the silent, invisible threat that makes wealth preservation so incredibly difficult. From there, we will trace the deep roots of how our ancestors protected their energy with traditional assets, before crossing into the industrial roar of modern assets. We'll then journey into the ethereal, boundless frontier of the digital age. By placing all these methods side by side, we will uncover the ultimate strategy for survival. We begin by facing the true nature of the wealth preservation challenge. It is a silent threat. You see, as modern economies blossomed, we were taught to find comfort in the heavy steel vaults of savings accounts and the predictable, soothing rhythm of fixed deposits. For a long time, this illusion of safety felt absolute. We felt protected. But quietly, right beneath the surface of our awareness, a phantom was breathing. It makes no sound. It sends no warning letters. Yet it systematically, ruthlessly drains a family's stored energy, day by day, year by year. That enemy, that silent thief in the night, is inflation. And if you are finding yourself captivated by this hidden history of wealth, please take a brief moment to gently tap the like button, share this explainer with someone whose future you care about, and ensure you are subscribed to the channel as we dive deeper into the shadows of our economy.
Let's look at a seemingly simple set of numbers that brilliantly and tragically illustrates the illusion we so often fall for. Imagine watching a pile of your hard-earned coins growing at a 4% interest rate. You sit in your living room, you see the numbers ticking upward on your bank statement, and a warm, comforting sense of accomplishment washes over you. You are doing the right thing. But outside the walls of your home, inflation is running at 6%. What does that mean? It means the cost of the entire world, the food, the land, the energy, is expanding faster than your coins are multiplying. On paper, your account balance looks triumphant. You genuinely feel richer. But in the harsh, unforgiving reality of the marketplace, your actual purchasing power is bleeding away into nothingness. True preservation isn't about staring at a growing number on a digital page. It's about violently defending your power to live, breathe, and thrive in the physical world.
To escape this silent thief, we must physically journey backward in time, returning to the very roots of traditional wealth and the dawn of human civilization. Long before glowing screens, complex derivatives, and stock tickers, our ancestors stood under the open sky and faced this exact same terrifying fear of loss. Their solutions weren't abstract concepts. Their solutions were things you could pull from the earth, things you could hold in your calloused hands, things that carried the absolute, undeniable weight of the physical world.
Watch how the timeline of human survival flows across the ages. In the agricultural era, our ancestors relied on fertile, dark soil, the ultimate, tangible provider of food and shelter. As primitive tribes evolved into sprawling, magnificent ancient civilizations, the focus shifted to the hypnotic gleam of gold, which quickly became the universal language of trust and survival. Centuries turned, bringing us the 20th century, an era dominated by towering real estate empires and the chaotic, energetic growth of the stock market. And now, we find ourselves standing on the precipice of the 21st century, a world where some of the most powerful, impenetrable assets are entirely digital, existing everywhere and nowhere at once. Each era represents a brilliant, desperate attempt by humanity to outsmart the inevitable decay of wealth.
Let's linger for a moment on that ancient metal. Because if land was the original asset, gold was undeniably the first universal standard. Through every catastrophic war, every fallen empire, and every period of dark economic chaos, this simple, heavy yellow metal remained fiercely, stubbornly valuable. Why did it survive when everything else burned? Because it possessed the sheer magic of scarcity. It is practically indestructible, it is perfectly divisible, and it is universally recognized by every culture on Earth. Kings and commoners alike pass down gold as emergency armor against an unpredictable, violent world. Yet, as beautiful as it is, it carries a profound limitation. For all its unwavering stability, gold is entirely silent. It produces no cash flow, it pays no dividends, it just sits in the dark. It is a magnificent shield, but it is not an engine.
As humanity pushed forward, the 20th century brought a massive industrial awakening. We began to realize that standing behind a shield was simply no longer enough. Our wealth needed to move, to breathe, to grow dynamically, to outpace the ever-creeping shadow of inflation. And so, the strategies for survival fundamentally evolved. We transitioned into the era of modern assets. People stopped merely burying gold in the ground and began building massive, roaring engines of wealth. And as we examine these powerful modern engines, let this serve as a gentle reminder to subscribe to the channel, like this explainer, and share these vital insights with your community, helping us all navigate these financial waters together. We witnessed the meteoric rise of two major world-shaping asset classes. On one side, the colossal weight of real estate. It offered that deep, comforting tangibility of the ancient past, but it added a crucial, life-changing new element, the steady pulse of rental income. It became a fortress that not only protected against inflation, but actively generated cash while you slept. Yet entering this kingdom required immense capital, deep debt, and the constant, exhausting physical maintenance of brick, wood, and steel. On the other side of the spectrum, the stock market exploded into the public consciousness. Ordinary individuals could suddenly buy a tiny fraction of a massive, global enterprise. Stocks offered unparalleled, hyperspeed access to human innovation and corporate growth, historically outpacing inflation over the long horizon. But to walk this path introduced a terrifying new adversary: volatility. The wild, unpredictable swings of rising and crashing markets tested the emotional discipline of everyday people, shaking many out of their wealth completely.
And now, the winds of history are shifting once again. We are currently crossing the threshold into a profound, unprecedented transformation, one that is rewriting the very dictionary definition of value. We are entering the digital age. The heavy, smoke-belching factories and sprawling physical machinery are no longer the undisputed singular rulers of the global economy. Right before our eyes, we are witnessing the great human migration from the heavy mass of physical objects to the weightless, infinite realm of intangible wealth. When most people hear the phrase digital assets, their minds almost immediately jump to the volatile, neon-lit world of cryptocurrency. But to truly understand this era, we need to open our eyes much, much wider. The true digital economy is vastly more expansive and far more deeply woven into our daily lives. We're talking about globally dominant software platforms, highly prized intellectual property, thriving online businesses, and influential digital brands that exist entirely in the invisible cloud. These are intangible assets. You absolutely cannot hold them in your hand. You cannot lock them in a steel vault, yet they generate staggering, mind-bending value in a hyper-connected world. They are the new virtual real estate, built not on top of soil and steel, but upon the endless foundation of data and human attention. You might wonder, why is the younger generation migrating so fiercely, almost instinctually, toward these ethereal assets? The answer lies in the magic of absolute scalability. Think about it. If you own a traditional physical asset, like a bakery or an apartment complex, and you want to double your income, you have to buy more physical land, pour more heavy concrete, and hire more physical labor. But a digital asset, like a beautifully coded piece of software or an expansive online educational platform, can serve 10 people or 10 million people at the exact same time without laying a single extra brick. It bridges massive oceans instantly. It allows for completely remote creation and ownership. Yet, we must be honest, This digital realm is a wild frontier. It has its own dark perils, like the terrifying speed of technological obsolescence and the ever-present, invisible threat of cyber risks. Having traveled from the dark soil of our agricultural ancestors to the glowing data centers of the modern era, we must now do something incredibly important. We must gather these powerful forces, the ancient, the modern, and the digital, and place them side by side in a grand head-to-head comparison to truly analyze their ability to survive the unforgiving test of time.
Standing before this grand weighing scale, the unique strengths and fatal weaknesses of each asset become intensely, beautifully clear. Look closely. Gold offers ultimate, unbreakable stability and tangibility, but it sits idle, a silent guard producing no cash flow. Real estate stands firm and heavy, offering rental income and an inflation hedge, but it's dangerously illiquid when you need money fast, and it requires endless, exhausting maintenance. The stock market dances with vigorous, chaotic energy, offering incredible long-term growth in business ownership, but it whipsaws violently, carrying a volatility that can shatter a fragile mind. Finally, digital assets blaze with the futuristic promise of infinite scalability and global reach, yet they carry massive technological risk and the looming threat of sudden irrelevance. What we learn from staring at this ancient armory of choices is a deeply humbling truth. There is absolutely no perfect silver bullet. Each asset is merely a specialized tool, carrying its own unique strengths to shield you, and its own dangerous flaws that you must actively manage. If this deep historical clarity is providing value to your own journey, please take a brief second to subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, and hit the like button. So if there is no single perfect weapon, how do the truly great, multi-generational dynasties do it? How do they survive the crushing weight of global recessions, the silent, creeping theft of inflation, and the sudden violent disruptions of new technology? The secret is profound, yet incredibly simple. They do not survive by clinging desperately to a single perfect asset. They survive through the masterful architecture of true resilience. This beautiful allocation you are looking at reveals the true alchemy of survival. It is the impregnable architecture of a fortified legacy. The most resilient families do not guess the future. Instead, they weave a complex, unbreakable tapestry of both defense and offense. They hold gold, intentionally anchoring their wealth with ancient, immovable stability. They hold real estate, securing a deeply tangible, income-producing grip on the physical earth. They embrace stocks, bravely riding the upward soaring wave of human innovation and corporate growth. They boldly integrate digital assets, planting visionary flags in the world of tomorrow. And critically, they maintain quiet, unglamorous cash reserves, not as an investment to grow, but as pure, tactical flexibility. Cash is the dry ammunition required to act decisively when the rest of the world panics. Combining these timeless, ancient principles with limitless modern opportunities creates a fortress of true financial resilience. Yet there is a final, breathtaking twist to this entire story. Even the most perfectly constructed portfolio, built with all the gold and real estate in the world, will utterly collapse if we neglect the single most crucial element of preservation. As this profound quote reminds us, the most valuable inheritance is not money, it is knowledge. Tragic studies repeatedly show vast family wealth vanishing into thin air within a mere 3 generations. Why does this happen? Because the heavy gold, the sprawling properties, and the powerful stocks were dutifully handed down, but the wisdom of how to wield them was not. Assets transferred without financial literacy are like a massive, powerful warship handed over to a crew that has absolutely no idea how to navigate the stars. The long-term emotional discipline, the agonizingly responsible decision-making, the profound, deep-seated understanding of true value, these are the actual treasures. The money is just a byproduct of the mind. And so we slowly arrive at the end of our journey in this explainer, leaving you with one final vital question that should echo in your mind long after the screen goes dark. As you look out toward the horizon of the next half-century, a vast expanse of time that will undoubtedly bring strange new technologies and shifts we cannot yet comprehend, ask yourself this: what specific tools, and far more importantly, what exact knowledge will your family use to preserve its wealth for the next 50 years? The grand journey from buried gold to the digital ether was never about discarding the ancient wisdom of the past. It has always been about beautifully fusing it with the limitless, breathtaking possibilities of tomorrow. Thank you so deeply for joining us on this immersive journey through time and value. Keep building, keep preserving, and we will see you in the next explainer.